Sergeant Reynolds of the Halifax Regional Police Unit, Commissioner Mose here. Today is the 22nd day of January 1998, and it is 18:22 hours. In the room is myself, Stephen Maxwell, Derek Williams, members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and Robin Margaret Elizabeth Hartrick from Jackson Road, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And we're here to conduct or perform a KGB statement in regards to a statement that you gave on the 14th day of November 1996 in regards to the homicide of Brenda Way. Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to affirm you and swear you in. You swear that the evidence you're about to provide in this videotape statement to these investigators shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I want you to clearly understand that severe criminal sanctions exist for the making of a false statement. Do you understand that lying under oath constitutes perjury? Further, do you understand that misleading the police in a criminal investigation is a criminal offense? Is your participation in this statement free and voluntary? Do you swear or solemnly affirm that the statement you are about to give is the truth?
Good.
All right.
We'll just get you to signature that right there, just below the table.
Right there. Robin, where's his witness?
Just initially, you said?
Yep, just sign your name.
Sign the way you would normally sign.
And the time is 6:24.
You want to put 6:24 right there, Robin?
Thank you very much for...
Thank you. Just put PM there. Okay, so only one thing is AM. Okay.
How are you tonight?
Tired.
Tired?
Okay, Robin, I'm going to read from this form, these two forms here that we have left, okay? So you'll have to follow along with me. I'm just going to write your name in here. Robin, Margaret, and we'll just put the initial E, Hartrick. I want to caution you as to the truthfulness of your statement. I want you to fully understand that if there is any falsehood in this statement, you could be prosecuted for any attempts to fabricate evidence contrary to Section 137 of the Criminal Code of Canada, for obstructing justice contrary to Section 139 of the Criminal Code of Canada, or for public mischief contrary to Section 140 of the Criminal Code of Canada. Margaret Hartrick, do you fully understand what I have just explained to you?
Yes.
Would you state your full name, date of birth, and address?
Margaret Elizabeth Hartrick. June the 12th. 1963.
And your address is what, Margaret?
7 Jackson Road, apartment 33. That's where I'm staying as of now.
7 Jackson Road, apartment number 33?
Yes.
And where is that at?
Dartmouth.
Nova Scotia?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a criminal record?
Not now, no.
Have you ever been fingerprinted before?
No.
No. Well, as far as you know, you don't have a criminal record.
As far as I know, well.
You've never been charged with anything? You never had to go?
Prostitution.
Have you been, for what?
Prostitution.
Okay.
Margaret Hartrick, are you willing to provide a videotaped statement in regards to your knowledge of this investigation freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Have you been offered any promises, or are you under any threat or inducement to provide this statement?
No.
Would you explain the events as you recall them regarding this investigation, including any involvement you may have had and the involvement of others that you have knowledge of? That's in regards to this statement here that we want you to go over. This is a statement that you provided Constable Glencoe on the, and he was of the Dartmouth City Police at that time, I guess, on the 14th day of November 1996. Would you go over this statement you gave, read it out loud to us, just word for word, just as you gave it?
November 14, 1996, 12:10 p.m. Robin Margaret Elizabeth Hartrick, 24 Dundas Street, 703 Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Occupation, unemployed. Date of birth, June 12, 1963. Married status, single. Date of offense, November the 12th, 1995. We are investigating the murder of Brenda West. And that's just the part it writes. What can you tell us about the murder of Brenda West? I saw Brenda on the afternoon before she was found dead. It was around dinner time. She was hitching on Prince Albert Road in front of the Irving station. She never looked happy. I asked her if she was short of cash. She said no. I'm out here trying to get some. Was that the last time you saw her alive? Yes. Do you know anything else that she did that night? I know that she went to the crack house at 88 Windmill Road, apartment 2, Lower Marsh Place. I missed her by a couple of minutes, sometime between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. Then I went to Linda Grady's place at 109 Albert Lake Road. I left Linda's place around 4:15 a.m. and Glennis soon was coming up the walkway towards the building. He said to me, well, she's finally gone now. That's the weight off my shoulders. I asked him, where's she gone? I knew he was talking about Brenda. He said she's dead. He said, if I find out the bitch or prick who did it, they're dead. He looked like he was on drugs, but I know Glenn doesn't do drugs. He looked right strange, like he wasn't there. How you know it was 4:15 a.m.? I asked him the time. His arm was right shaky, so I held his arm while he looked at his watch. He said it was 4:15 a.m. Did you ask him how he knew that Brenda was dead or how she died. No, he was freaking me out, so I told him I had to go, and I got out of there. Were you drinking or doing drugs that night? I was doing wrong. Are you sure the events are correct that you just told me? Yes. Will you be willing to take a polygraph test pertaining to this? Yes, I would. I would do anything you asked me to do. Is there anything you wish to add? No. When did you learn for sure that Brenda was dead? When I went to Lloyd States that morning, he told me that she was dead. Where did Lloyd States live? 8 Lawrence Street, apartment 111. He's deceased now.
And that's your statement in entirety, the one you gave Constable Blanco.
Yeah.
You recall that statement? Yeah. Everything in that statement, that's the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And you still firmly believe that that's what happened, or that's what you had told him?
Yeah.
Has that statement, as far as your knowledge, that statement ever been altered, the one you just read?
What do you mean altered? No.
Changed?
No.
And did you sign that statement freely, voluntarily?
Yes.
Were you, when you gave this statement, or at the time of giving that statement, were you ever made any promises or given any favors or anything to give that statement? That was of your own free will and voluntariness? Okay. When you gave that statement, Margaret, do you recall where you gave that at? Was that
Here.
in the same building? Do you want to go over that statement with her?
Okay. Now, Robin, we would like to now, since you've had time to read that statement and you're saying that it's the same one that you gave back in the 14th of November, we would like to just to clarify a few points in your statement to see if you may be able to, at this time, recall anything else that may be able to help us in regards to that investigation involving Brenda Way. Can you do that for us? Okay. Can you tell us your relationship with Brenda Way, possibly when you met her?
Go.
Okay. Can you remember when you met her?
Around August, in the summer. Glenn soon introduced me to her.
You knew Glenn soon before you knew Brenda?
Yes.
How long did you know Glenn?
A week.
Okay.
I had just met him. He had just moved in the 4-star. It was a date.
He was living at the 4-star?
Both of them.
Oh, both of them. And Glenn was a date?
Well, yeah, it was him and his son, Junior,
Okay.
on the balcony drinking, and they asked me if I want to come up with there.
Okay. And that's how you met them?
Yep.
And how long did you live at the 4-star with them? You remember?
A couple of months, 3, 4, 5 months, almost. I wouldn't say a year, but I known her for a year.
You knew her for a year before she died?
Yeah.
During that time that you knew...
We worked together on the street.
Okay. What was their relationship like, Glenn and Brenda's?
He set against her doing rock prostitution, but then again, he doesn't mind her going out and winning the money in. But he didn't like to fork over money for her, for the rock, which he has had. They always argue. It's like living with the War of the Roses, I guess.
Did Brenda give him the money when she come home from working? What dates?
No, not all the time.
She kept it herself.
Yeah, by rock, and that's why he was so set against.
Did you ever observe any conduct between Brenda and Glenn?
A lot of arguments. I was never there when they got into a battle, but I have wiped off blood off the walls from her.
And how long wiping off the blood and the violence before she was passed away or was murdered?
Twice I have wiped off blood off the wall. Once in the bathroom, and then once he asked his son to do it, and then after he went to the liquor store, I did it. Because I wanted to know what happened. Glenn wouldn't tell me.
Where was Brenda then?
Brenda was either up on Jackson or Outworth.
But she wasn't present?
She wasn't present.
Did you ever see her after one of these battles she had with Glenn?
Yes.
Can you describe what she looked like?
There was no marks to be shown
There
in
wasn't.
eye contact. If there was marks, it would always be below the surface.
Did you ever see
From
her?
her, either from a bloody nose, from her, him smacking her.
Right.
But he would never leave a mark. He was too smart for that.
Okay. Did she ever have bruises on her body after?
Yes.
Did you ever see these bruises?
Yes.
Okay. What was Brenda's attitude towards Glenn?
She loved him. He loved her. But he tried to help her, but she was so much on the rock. He would follow her around. He was so obsessed with her that she was scared of him.
November 11th, 1995. Can you describe what you did that day?
What was this?
November 11th, Remembrance Day of 1995. Can you remember what you did that day? Have you seen Brenda?
Remembrance Day.
That's the day before she was murdered?
She was at my place,
Okay.
behind the bowling alley.
What was,
Pond Street.
what happened there?
We were sitting there and we were smoking.
Was Glenn there?
No, Glenn didn't know where she was. He spooked her. For once that day, he didn't know where she was, couldn't find her, couldn't follow her around. He was wiped.
That was 11th November 96.
Yes.
Not yet. Okay.
No. 95.
95?
95.
95.
Oh, okay. 95.
And then when was the last time you seen Brenda?
That day,
That day? And what was she doing that day? Last
with
night?
me,
With you?
smoking.
Okay. And then what should she do then?
I told her she can stay there, and I went out and worked, and then she went out and worked, and we met up on Albert Lake Road, and then I went home, and Glenn had found her.
Glenn found her?
Yeah, up on Albert Lake Road, because that's where she would have went and worked, and kept on going towards the New Bridgeway to go over to Halifax. That's where she always worked, is in Halifax.
Who was in Halifax? Eh?
Yeah.
What part of Halifax did she work in?
South Street.
South Street?
So then,
And,
I need a wee wee again. Coffee's going through me.
Coffee's going through you?
okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. I'll be quick.
Yep.
1842. We'll have to go to the wee-wee.
Okay.
Back in the room at 18:44.
Okay, we were,
Talking about Brenda.
yeah. She was up in Albert Lake Road.
Albert Lake Road, and like I said, that day we spooked him. He was probably looking all over crazy for her, couldn't find her, until she got up into the normal surrounding on Albert Lake Road, or...
When you seen her up in Albert Lake, did you see him around
Oh, I see him driving around, yeah,
that day?
but I haven't seen her.
No.
No.
Okay, when she goes up in Albert Lake, do you see Glenn driving around looking for her?
Oh, all the time.
That day?
Every time. Every time she's up, that's when I know where she... If I don't, sometimes, if I don't see her, she's either over in Halifax.
Okay. So that day,
But half the time she's with me.
do you know what time roughly you would have seen her, the last time you would have seen her up there?
That day.
Yeah, like, was it the afternoon, evening?
Well, got to the evening.
Okay. And then where did you go?
But the last time I have seen her was the day of her death. And that was on Prince Albert Road by the Irving,
By the Irving?
where she was hitchhiking. And that was the last time I seen her.
The Irving on the Prince Albert Road. And which direction was she hitchhiking in?
Towards town.
Towards,
Going uptown, going up to North End.
to the north end of Dartmouth?
Yeah.
Okay. And on that same day, what time of the afternoon would that have been, or the morning?
Around 10, 11
In the morning or night?
in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, so at nighttime?
Not at nighttime, no.
So it would have been then around 11 o'clock in the morning?
Well, around lunch.
Your lunch, okay. And after you seen her hitchhiking, what happens then? Where do you go?
Where did I went? I went on apartment 111, Lloyd States.
Lloyd States?
Lloyd State.
But you stayed in here. Okay, so you went there and you left. How long did you stay there at his place?
Until I go back out and work again.
Okay. And then where did you go after you went up?
Where we stayed in there.
Where, to Laura Marsh's?
To Laura Marsh's and Linda Brady.
Okay. When you went up to Laura Marsh's,
She had told me that I asked her if she seen... No, she had said it to me, that's right. She had said to me, she said, Brenda was here. I said, oh, when she left, she said she just left here about a couple of minutes ago. So it was, like I said, fracture over here, I had missed her.
and where did Laura live at that time?
On Windmill,
On
88
Windmill.
Windmill.
Okay. So then you left there. Did you go
And went to
looking?
Linda Brady.
And then you went over to Linda Grady.
I was trying to track her down.
Who?
Brenda.
Okay. So you expected to find her at Linda's?
Yeah.
Okay. So you went to Linda's, and that's where, 109 Upper Lake Road?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're in there for how long?
Not that long, just a couple minutes.
Okay. Now, when you leave Linda's apartment, can you go back? I know it's going back a long time. Can you sort of visualize as you're coming out the door
I went to work.
what you seen?
Glenn soon.
Okay. Let's describe Glenn. Can you describe what he was wearing that night?
Oh, good God. No.
Okay.
All I could see is his glasses and his dumb face, and he looked, like I said, as if he was doing drugs, but he don't do drugs. He was really a mess. He was shaky, and as I described, as if he was a kid, and I don't know, I couldn't, he was freaking me right out. I couldn't understand, and then when he started talking about Brenda, she is finally gone, well, then that really, really blew my mind.
Can you describe to us, when you come out and you see Glenn coming up to walk towards you?
I knew exactly what he was going to ask me. Where's Brenda? But no, he freaked me right out by saying she's finally gone.
Okay. What did you do next?
My eyes popped out of my head, I think. I didn't. Yeah.
Okay. Did you do anything with Glenn?
What do you mean with Glenn?
Did you ask him anything?
Did I ask him anything? I said, what do you mean? She's gone. Who's gone? He said, Brenda. Brenda's found it. Yeah.
Did you ask him anything?
No, he freaked me right out so bad that I left. It was like,
Let's describe.
it wasn't shocking. It was not as if it didn't, how would I put it? It was like, it was a shock that I had just missed her at Linda's and Laura's. And it was also shocking in a way, but not too much as a shocking. It was, how can I describe it? It didn't bother me in a way. It was like, it did, it freaked me right out. It was like, and you're telling me this. You know, like it was like, what he doesn't say to me doesn't surprise me, more or less. Because it was like I don't know, he was dumb for the fact that I can see right through him. But it was like I said, he could talk easy to me. And it was like a mind-blowing experience. It was like I'm having a blowing weekday, and I was, yeah, he freaked me out so bad that I had to just go away from him. Because, like, I don't know what his actions may be to me, right? I didn't know that if he was on to me, because, yes, I couldn't trust him for myself. And right there, yeah, it went through my mind, but I couldn't prove that he would do it, because, like, he would be capable, but not incapable of killing her without any help.
What time was this? Did you see?
For around, after I left Linda Grady's, I seen him right on the road.
And what time?
He was walking towards Linda's.
Okay. And what time was this?
For around 4:15.
How do you know that?
4:15. Well, I asked him. I asked him what time, and his hands were shaky too. You know, he was sweaty. He was shaking, and it all didn't mean me. And then when he told me that Brenda's found me dead, it's like a weight off my shoulders.
Did he just go like this and tell you the time? Was he that calm?
Couldn't do it. I had to go.
So you had to.
Because he was freaking me right out. Plus, I just did. And I do not got patience for this kind of blah, blah, blah. Especially when he's freaking me out like that. I just went like that.
So you took hold of his hand.
Yes,
and looked at
risky. I know, foolish, crazy me. Because if he could have.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
But that's another test
But he was
that I did. I mean, I don't know. I just had to do it, right?
Did you see
I was
any-
on to him.
Yeah.
And I mean, but I couldn't prove it. I couldn't prove the fact that he did it. But he was like almost on to me too, because he always said, you know, more or less, people wouldn't come out and say, you know who killed her. Tell me who killed her, Rob. Can you tell me who killed her? You loved her just as much as I loved her, okay?
Did he say this at that time? Or was this
No,
later?
this is before when we went to the Stardust Hotel. This is how he was trying to play on me.
When
So
did-
I turned the tables around and I played on him.
And that was at the Stardust?
Well, we went to, he found me coming out of Lloyd State's, apartment 8111, Prince Albert Road, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Coming out, and he was in his blue stupid car.
What kind of car was that? You know?
Sedan.
Sedan?
Can you remember how long after?
We went over to the house at home, we had a beer, and yes, I want to do another route. So he bought some for me, and that was the same night that I ripped him off for $400 something.
How long?
Frears told me that.
How long?
That he told him that.
Can you-
I was surprised that he remembered.
Who told you that, Robin? Who was that told you?
Frears that was on Brenda's investigation at that
Oh,
time.
okay.
They were apparently supposed to be looking for me to ask me some questions, and hello, I was out there, I was there all the time, but they couldn't find me.
How long from the time that you ripped him off for the $400 at the four-star?
Mm-hmm.
Or the Stardust?
No, for Stardust Hotel,
Where was that at?
Bedford,
In Bedford? Who got the room there?
Glen.
Glenn signed for the room?
Yep.
Okay. How long after you seen him the night at Linda's did this take place?
After Brenda was dead.
Yeah.
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Glenn picked you up.
Well, he had to make sure, like, he was a suspect at that time,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Yeah.
They were looking for me. He knew all that,
Oh, he did?
okay?
Yeah.
So he had to wait for a little while. They couldn't find me. So he wanted to get a Brownie Award because he wanted me to write it down at the Hosa before we went to the Stardust Hotel. So I just write down bullshit. I'm not going to sit there, yeah, Glenn, you did it.
Yeah.
No.
So that took place at the House of Hunt?
Yes. And then he wanted me, I said, I want to get something, we can do it at the hotel. Ha, ha, ha. I lied.
Okay. Do you know what name you wrote down?
Oh, I read her name, but I didn't say nothing.
Okay. So you
He had it. He told me he gave it to the cops, which I don't believe. If he did, how come you guys didn't got it?
yeah.
How come Fierce didn't have it? Or any other wannabes that's supposed to be on her investigation
Mhm.
showed me anything.
Yeah.
So, hello.
So a couple of weeks after Brenda's death, he picks you
He
up.
finally contacted me,
Okay.
tracked me down, but which wasn't like Brenda. Yeah, it was hard for him to find me.
Were you still staying at the four-star?
God knows he could be following me around too, because I have seen him in the past, even now.
Even now?
Mm-hmm. I've seen him a couple times.
When you
There's
were...
only 3 guys that can almost look like him.
Yeah.
One I know is a cop. One, I don't know who the hell he is. I think that he just played Mr. Dress-Up Day.
Yeah?
The other one, you can't miss Glenn. I would never miss. Names, probably, yes, I would have a hard time with, but faces, I'd never forget a face. And Glenn, I can't, no. He's going around and around like a date. And don't stop. And I'm hit. Yes, I stuck my finger up. Oh, let's fuck you. Well, go on. And the more I avoided it, that car, the more it made sure that I seen that truck. That Bronco, whatever stupid truck it is. Yeah. And you can't drive it either.
When was the last time you would have seen that Bronco? No?
I'll say it almost a couple of weeks after New Year's.
Margaret, or Robin, who else would know Glenn Assoon may be responsible for this, for Brenda's death? Do you know of anybody else that might know?
Yeah, well, I can't. He's very nervous of saying because Glenn Assoon had threatened him to kill him. And that's Mickey Bates, my best friend. Because Brenda used to go up there, me and her used to go in his place. But don't ever tell him that he would know.
We
As
won't
well
tell
as
him
I do,
anything.
because I had talked to him. I said, come on. I mean, you know, that's why I'm out there, Mickey.
What's his
I
name
said,
again?
Glenn did it. I know he did it, but I said, I can't talk.
Okay.
But he had told me Glenn did threaten him to kill him. He did came out too. Mickey was very scared of Glenn Assoon. He had been moving because of Glenn Assoon.
When we go back to that
And
morning...
he's just scared to talk to me about it because he knows that also Glenn is a threat to me.
Is it?
Mickey won't talk to him much.
After
And
you...
that's how I can find out that Glenn could be a threat to me, and he's just scared that I could be sick.
Robin, on the, after you met Glenn on the doorstep of 109 Alber Lake, okay, can you remember what you did after you left him there?
No.
Okay. Can you remember seeing Glenn's car?
I've seen it around until he contacted me again a couple weeks, maybe a month after her death. We went to the Stardust and then we met again. And then after that rendezvous again, that's when I ended up working with him with the Sod Company of Tennessee. So
he was keeping you close.
exactly.
Okay.
I never did got paid for that job either.
Didn't?
No, two of us didn't. He owes me wages.
Did Glenison ever threaten you?
If he did, I took it with a grain of salt. I wasn't scared of him. I'm sorry. And he knew that because I told him, I said, you're not even in the biker.
Not even
I
what?
said, Glenn, I would know.
Not even what?
And I said, you're not even in there. He used to cry himself out, says that he is associated with the Hells Angels. And I said, bullshit.
So he thought he was a biker?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
He could probably know a couple of them, but he's not in there. They wouldn't have that in there.
Why is that, Margaret? Why wouldn't they?
Because they don't pimp their girls. They're women. They don't. They don't pimp them. They don't have them working on the street. And crack, they're not into crack. It's a respect for both things. They don't disrespect a prostitute. They don't disrespect them. But if you're one of them, you don't do it. And they won't buy it.
Did Linda see Brenda that night?
I can't remember.
Okay. How did Laura describe? She just say she was here, she wasn't
was here
upset?
and she left. She bought something and then she left.
Yeah, but she wasn't upset?
I didn't even ask her.
Okay. So, well, she didn't tell you anything either, did she?
No.
Okay. So there was nothing there that alarmed
No.
Laura?
No.
So, I guess...
But I guess apparently, too, of that night, David Long and Glenn had a mishap because I was in the truck. No, yeah, I was in the car or something. And Glenn Assoon and David Long. I guess that Glenn tried to threaten David. And David got kind of, not as a paranoid, but just basically told him, you know. Because I couldn't hear all of it. And I guess apparently it had to do with Brenda and her death too.
But that was that night?
That was when he had caught up with me, I believe, a couple days before we went to the Stardust Hotel. Or it was the day after, the night after Brenda's death. I can't really...
Yeah, it's a long time, but all we're doing is hoping that you can put your memory back there and come up with
I wish I could.
Yeah. But he was talking to David Long about...
They were having it was either a misunderstanding, but it could have almost ended up into a fight.
It got heated, did it?
Glenn, yeah, stupid, paranoid. Well,
He was blaming David for it?
it kind of made me look like that, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he was putting that on a show for you?
Could have.
Okay. In connecting with Brenda, did you ever hear of a guy by the name of Owen?
Owen?
Moen McGuire?
Owen, I heard.
No, Moen.
Moen,
Yep.
as in M-O.
That's right.
W-E-N. Moen.
Like mowing the lawn.
Moen. Okay. Is there anything else that you can remember surrounding the day or the day before Brenda's death that may have reoccurred to you now, or you may remember?
No, but if I do remember everything like I said before, I'll tell you. I'll
Okay.
contact you.
Okay.
I just got some photos here to show you, Margaret. See if you can recognize anyone. Actually, one girl, that's all I want to check with.
She's in Halifax.
Is she?
She's a Halifax girl. Isn't she? Prostitute. Who would she be affiliated with? Brenda?
Don't
Is that
know.
all?
She missing?
Don't know that. I just want to know if you knew who she was.
I see her now up around.
That will terminate
Jackson.
the interview in regards to Brenda Way.
You're just going to turn the tape off. Okay?
I see her around Jackson Road.
What's that?
I see her around Jackson Road. How long ago was this picture taken?